Okay, so I did a first pass at this rant and it took me 10 minutes to complete, so I'll try to do this in 2 minutes. Um, OKRs, you should not cascade OKRs. Like, it sucks. It's a terrible way for you to try to manage things. And it basically is like project management disguised as, flexible, outcome-driven strategy. So let me just jump quickly into it because I really want to try to compress that into 3 minutes. This is a picture that people see often and why they get, and I understand, right, the appeal for cascading OKRs, because oftentimes when we talk about it, this is what we infer and what we think can happen. You have a clear measurable goal at the top, and then it starts to be like this perfect picture, especially as a leader, super appealing picture of like how we're going to get to that $1 million goal. Because you divide it into like, hey, 10 customers, 100K per customers, and then you keep doing this and it becomes like, it looks great and super clear. First, there's a massive problem here is like, this really assumes that we know everything about the market and everything that we can do and everything that people want. And it's just hard. It's just hard to say that, it's like if we kept like, for instance, in the cascading model, this would have like more things coming down from here, same from here. It's like, how come, going to 10 conferences doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get those 10 customers. It might be that we need to do other things, etc. So this is already risky, but it's really hard to convince people with just me saying that. So I just want to talk about other things. All right, I have 1 minute 50. Oh God. One is like mostly what I see when I look at cascading OKRs implemented in orgs, is it becomes another way for people to do project management. And it's more or less like the roadmap that they had before, but now it's organized like something that looks like OKRs, but it's very much like dictating exactly what needs to happen. And you get this thing where you say, hey, we need to make product X successful, and therefore we need to launch this feature and that feature. And to launch this feature, we need to identify a problem, we need to build a prototype, we need to test a prototype, we need to build, etc. And so that's not an OKR. That's you saying like, hey, what are the things we need to do to launch this feature? Whereas like to make like the better spirit of OKRs is to say, hey, we want to make that product successful. How do we? And this is for me, it's okay as an objective. But so my question is like, how do you know it's successful? It's not successful because you've launched the features. It's successful because people are using it, people are coming back to use it, and people are paying for it. So this should be what we'll look at. The second problem is that once you start to set a tree like this, you've decided that this is now an engineering problem. Like it's just like about building those features. And it's going to be really hard for other teams to look at that and be like, I understand how I can plug myself into that tree. And if you want to make a product successful, yes, you need to build a product and you need to build those features, but you should involve your marketing team into, hey, what's a go-to-market motion for this? How are we going to find the right people? How, can we build like a waiting list for it? And can we test the sentiment? Like there's so many other things that need to happen than just building a feature. Support needs to, understand what that feature is going to be or the product is going to be. And yeah, anyway, let me move on. So first of all, quite often with the cascading model, it just becomes another way for you to just like have this, roadmap. As opposed to like a set of clear goals that help teams like understand how to take risk and how to move, basically what to focus on, but they own how they're going to deliver whatever vision you have. The other one is that it's bound to fail. Like if I go back to this example, if you start to do this, it's like you say, hey, we need to launch feature X, and that becomes like one of the top elements of your tree. And then you realize that feature X is actually not the right thing for you. Then all these things that everybody has spent weeks trying to organize that tree, like that is useless now. And building that tree is expensive because this is a model of cascading OKRs. It means that this is the top level company OKRs. This is my department here. This is me. And you can have like in larger org, like another layer, right? Company, business unit, department team, or company business unit team. It means that here, if I'm part of this, I cannot plan anything. I cannot set my goals until like everybody above me has done this. And it can take like 2 to 3 weeks to do this, 2 to 3 weeks to do that. So you're like a month and a half, 2 months into the quarter before you can even think about like what my OKRs are. extremely expensive. And then if anyone makes a mistake here, I have to redo everything. Absolutely sucks. It's horrendous. A better model is to say, and this is still important, like give us an idea of what you are focused on as a leadership team. We want product X to be successful. We want mobile to be important. We want better integration. We want to launch in a new market. And then trust people to be smart enough to understand that, hey, I'm part of engineering, and they said that mobile is important, integrations are important, and they want to launch in a new market. Therefore, like I can have a set of goals. Maybe we want to launch in Japan, and so we need to make sure that our product is translated in Japanese. And we want that product to be successful. So I'm going to define some goals around usage, etc. But I'm the marketing team, and I see that. And now my thing is something else. I need to think about what's specific to the Japanese culture, like how can we tackle this market. I'm going to put some goals around campaigns, etc. So my point is, teams don't need to wait everything to be organized in a perfect structure. Like it's actually harmful. Just use a model that let people loosely, not loosely, like they will understand what you're trying to do, like help them understand the vision, and then they can set the goals. And as a team, once my business unit OKRs are set, if I see that there's something that is very specific to my business unit that I need to take into consideration, I can just amend my OKRs to take that into account. But now I don't have to wait like a month and a half to start working on my goals. I can do that like as soon as the leadership goals are set. So yeah, cascading, it's slow, it's cumbersome, it's risky. To simplify it, it absolutely sucks. I would really encourage you to not do it at all. Like a better functioning model that is so much simpler and way more effective is to use this model. But on top of that, you need to have weekly conversations, right? Because I think the worry when I see teams doing the cascading model is because there's a huge worry that, hey, this goal is red, but we can't really know why. And it's because teams don't really know that they should align themselves to that. Well, it's super easy to know when a team is not working on the right thing if every week you're talking about the goals. Because if someone has a bad goal, it's like after 3 or 4 weeks, like once again, you've got smart people. Not everything needs to be replaced by a graph. Our brains are super powerful. And if you put like 6 smart people in a room and you both talk about, what goals we have for the quarter and have in mind what is super important for the company, you can trust this group of people to quickly identify the fact that, hey, we're not super aligned here. We need to change what we have here to align with that. Like they don't need to have this perfect graph. Like a combination of, smart people, conversations, and a graph like this is more than enough. Not just more than enough. It's actually the best thing that you can have if you want to achieve really complex goals. All right, that's my rant. 8 minutes. Okay, sorry about that, but I think I'm not going to cut it short. Like it's too important. Thank you.